afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible today. Yes. So it's indeed a great pleasure that I would want to give and place on record a sincere gratitude and thanks to BW, and at the outset, the GCC Talent World 2025. See, as the name itself says, that there are two important parcels here. One is GCC, where the first speaker was able to do that. The second one, there were two panel discussions mainly focusing on the talent acquisition and talent management, mainly focusing on AI. But my question to each and every one in this audience is, what if you guys going to do if there is no talent? That is what my main focus today is. So if you would see the movement of the Indian university system right from the beginning, we are all the forerunners of the earlier university systems in the whole world, like the Purana, Tachishla, Nalanda, where many people from other places came to our country to get educated and go away. So we were very pioneers for starting the Gurukul system of education. Later on, what happened was, there was a great pause in acquiring the talents. And later on, that was felt during 1970s, 1980s, where the government had mainly focused on installing special institutes, which are called as IITs. They were only focused on technologies, but at the same time, the technology was total standalone thing, but there is no science in that. Then they moved on to bringing in ISIS, Indian Institute of Science and Technology. Both science and technology came into existence in 1987 and 1990. Further on, what happened was, there were a plethora of more diversification in the education, where many government universities as well as private universities came into existence. You people should know that with vast population in India, with more literacy coming up, it was not only the government education system that helped our country to grow in science and technology. It was only the education system along with the private universities which gave a great impetus into the system, which give you the major talent pool. So the focus here is only the talents, and this talent system is more important for going ahead with this, where you would see here, the Indian university talent is vast and huge, where you would see 42 million students a year. This is a great sum of students that they are there in each and every university system. Second largest talent pipeline next to China. That is why we are having an edge over many of the technology and science. And $46 million turnover, especially only from the GCCs. But at the same time, I just wanted to convey that the GCCs are mainly focused and narrowed on certain specific sectors only. And I should say that 2 million in emerging technologies, where students are totally trained and talent is vast there, but at the same time, you see a contrast where 32 lakh technology graduates every year. So a person who completes BTech, if he wants to just change the tube light bulb, he goes to YouTube to see how to change a tube light. This is the concept of our education system now. However, there is a paradigm shift now in making technology as outcome-based education. That is what the major dictum of the current trend of education in here. And when you see the total gap that is going to be there, as I have said, the major 45% of the GCCs are mainly focused on software, internet, automated sectors, and BSFI. Many have not focused on a virgin land, which is none other than the academia GCCs. And this is being not felt in India, but whereas it has been felt from abroad, where many people are siphoning in more of the money. When you talk about the academic GCCs, there are many countries which are just focused, it's opening its door. Singapore, Malaysia, Poland, China, United Arab Emirates. Everyone has opened their own plethora. And if you would see, go to Dubai, there is a big corridor, education corridor, where a person can lease for 99 years a vast sum of land where he or she can build a university. After 99 years, it could be made yours or it could be extended on. A similar system came into India too, a place called Sonipat near Delhi, you know that, and Gift City in Ahmedabad. Those places are now earmarked to do this. The reason being is very simple. We want talent to be nurtured, and we want technology talent to be nurtured in such a way that we could cater to the GCCs on the oncoming years. Because down the year, if you would see in 2030, it is only in India you would see a major population of youngsters who are between 25 to 32. Nowhere in the world you will have this. It means that we will have the youngest country from 10 years from now. However, this talent is going to be totally focused here, or as you all know, these guys will go abroad and come back here, or they will stay there. I myself have been there in the US. I was the dean of UCLA for 18 years. I came back here as vice chancellor in 3 different universities. It is very simple here. The HR who is going to just give me a chance here should take a total 360 degree in bringing and tapping the talent and knowing what is the real talent is. That is what the major important thing that is totally focusing on here. 65% of the Fortune 500 companies, they have GCCs here. But at the same time, I just wanted to put it here to just convey and pinpoint that only Fortune 500 companies have GCCs. But very miniature companies have started GCCs. Now there is a concept called nano GCC. Single point GCC, a single person from a startup can be a GCC. These are not being focused at all. The reason being that only top end, the creamy layer is being given more importance. Big companies, multinational companies. But I see a lot of HR here who have been also on the panel and other things, who are just emerging companies. But at the same time, we have a great amount of lacunae in making them as GCCs from here to other countries as well. That is my concept that I wanted to just give you here. I don't want to just talk about GCC in India, but at the same time, Indians making a GCC outside India, for which we need talent, and that is where the talent tapping is coming from, the biggest universities here. I would certainly say that in earlier times, people were focusing on IITs, IISCs, where they are all universities which have been totally taken into consideration in establishing by endowment funding. For example, Indian Institute of Science, established by Tata funding, total endowment. Like Harvard, Stanford, which are all endowment fundings. Now the concept has totally changed here. Many private universities are totally coupling with the GCC synchrony in making certain individual talents go. For example, Deloitte with any other, this thing like BITS Pilani. There are many such universities which are there. Amity also had partnered into many things, because I am a vice chancellor, I am telling you this one. But at the same time, you need to know that this kind of a coupling in the GCC not only nurtures talents of GCC. You people have to know only one thing, that GCCs do not hire or very minimally hire new entry people. They only hire very established, experienced people. Then what is the point when we talk about GCC and the talents here? If we want to have that kind of a creamy layer, where is the second line of defense in the company? Where are we making the leaders come? There is a Harvard Business School which has come with only a study on the Indian perspective, telling that after 15 years, there will not be minimal leaders to take and run any big multinational company. There are many companies that have gone into docs. BPL, one of the important companies. Many things where there is no leadership that went on well to some extent, and then it declined. Having said that, I would always say that with all these particular thing, many of the GCCs in India, in nearby where they are coming up with academic GCCs. The universities are the top tier universities. 14 universities has been granted GCCs in India as of today. And these universities which I am giving you all here is in Navi Mumbai. The reason I am giving you this is these are the competitors to our Indian universities in Navi Mumbai, where Amity University Mumbai is located, where you might have known that the recent new airport has been unveiled. Now we understand internationalization is so crazy with our students. And they want to go out of the country, and now they make them inside the country. Even Amity University has 13 campuses outside country. We have 13 campuses inside the country as well. But at the same time, the craze goes on here, and they become competitors. But at the same time, they give us employment and talent acquisition. That is why I always call my HR people not as HR people, because you are the guys who are the backbone of any institution. You can make or mar the future of any institution. If the HR head is not good, I am telling you, within 7 years, the whole institution will go into talks. I just put a thought in you, only one thing here. Yes, we have let inside all these multinational companies, institutions to come in to make foreign GCCs here. But at the same time, what is the transition further on? That is $1 million question here. Because all we want for even our own companies is people should bring in disruptive technologies, creative, innovative. These are all buzzwords that all the HR people would think. You will have these things even for checking your resumes, maybe. But at the same time, I will say that, okay, you got every people of them through your own AI, because many of the interactions today were only focusing on AI, okay, AI resume crunching, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, what happens if there is no talent and the talent is not put to action? This is where the problem lies. Because, I'll tell you one good real-time example that we did it in Amity University, Mumbai. We hired 7 people only through AI and AI screening part. And this is all very preliminary screening and other things, and we did all through. And one of the important peculiarity in Amity Mumbai we do is we make them on a psychometric analysis as well. So the person is put into a psychometric test where he or she is given a simulation where he sits in front of the computer, and then he is being scored and then evaluated. And if it is going to be for a university officer or a top tier this thing, so we give it on a higher standard 2 times. Yes, we did everything. We hired 7 people, out of which I would say 4 people are good for nothing. We don't know what is the talent is. At the end of the day, we recruited them with very minimal talent, and we didn't have any other choice either to make them in the system or take them away from the system. There is talent, but there is no hard work. There is inertia in their work. So now hard work beats talent, or the talent is bet by the hard work. A guy who is having a very good hard work resilience, that you all know soft skills in HR, are the people who edge the talent and they come into the system, become a solid backbone by learning new things and making them very good and adaptable for many of the GCCs. In my opinion, GCCs are not very big here. I am talking about in due course of a time where GCCs are going to be very small, miniatured, very focused, which will be very useful for the company on a longer day to go. Many of the startups are now GCCs. Many of the big GCCs are now hiring only startup to be the GCCs. If you go inside, this is the insider of every company. So what we need is only the GCC industry synchrony, which will give a portfolio to the particular person. This is the talk of the town. Now, you need to understand that the Indian system of education, especially in the universities, they are not focused on textbook system of education in giving you a chalk and talk method or a PowerPoint method. This is mainly focusing on a paradigm shift of outcome-based education. It means that we give portfolio courses or portfolio trainings. What you see here is a nexus, a collaboration on a GCC course between Airbus and Amity. I am also telling that this is an interaction between the Suzuki Motors of Japan along with our BTech students. Here, this is by Tech Mahindra, where they have installed their own industry simulatory setup there within our campus, where every year we send 40 to 50 of our BTech students exclusively to the Mahindra and Mahindra company. This is the system that we are looking for. If this system is not going to be taken in a very longer run in every university setup, the talent will be talent, the knowledge will be knowledge, but there will not be any wisdom at all, and people will not be able to use any talent per se. They'll have very good bookish knowledge. If you just say, describe an elephant, the student will describe the elephant very nicely for one page. It has 4 legs, etc., etc., etc. But if you show the elephant, he will say, I don't know. Hence, we don't get much of a people to the GCCs on the first input. And I will also say that there should be a very stringent pattern in which we make this talent go ahead. As one of the important things is the GCC industry synchrony that we always try to do, and now many of the industries have coming inside, especially in AI, generative AI, cloud computing, blockchain, etc., etc. Not only this sector, I would say that medical sector is coming into thing, pharmaceutical sectors have come into, many of the diversifications are happening. And AI is not a buzzword here, AI is only a supportive word here. I would also say that we were also involved with the GCC on space research, along with one of the GCCs on space research, where Amity University, Mumbai was pioneered to send the first biological payload to space. I hope you might have seen on the papers by January. This has happened through one of the GCCs who had helped our space research and along with the support of the ISRO. Now we have our own self-reliance in making the same payload. We are on collaboration with ISRO. I'm giving you this success story just to tell you only one thing, that initially we were not able to do that because we did not know what is the technical know-how. We learned them, but they were very much competitive. They wanted to come back again to be a part of it. We said no. And we started doing our own selves, and we excelled on that. And the second biological payload is going. You might have seen on yesterday, the biggest satellite has been launched, and this is being proposed to be launched by March. So with this, what I'm coming to say, the bottom line is, many universities, such as Amity University, we call it as Amity University just because we have 13 campuses in India, one in Bangalore, one in Mumbai, where I come from, and we have 13 abroad in New York, Sacramento, Canada, etc., etc. We make this as an Amity University just because we bring in quality talents. We have a combination between many of the industries where 564 companies come to us every year for campus interview. And we have clocked in 97% of our people who have been recruited. But at the end of the day, there is only one sorry thing to say, but whether they are employed on an appropriate scale of pay or not, we don't know. So as you know, as I talk in HR terms, attrition comes into play. Already our people are not at all happy with everything. Wherever you put the Gen Z, just 1 year or so, they are forgetting about that and they want to move different institutions. They are not very patient enough to see the mobile phone. If the total transmission is not going to come even for a 2 second, immediately they change the page. Our talent is very, very great here. I tell always a joke here that 3 of the scientists are talented people, one from US, another from UK, another from India. They had one objective. The objective is very simple, that they wanted to explore who invented the telecommunication. The UK scientists dug the earth for 20 feet, found iron ore. He declared that it was UK which made possible the telecommunication through iron communication, like iron wires. USA people dug another 10 feet down, 30. They found copper. They told that USA people were the greatest people. We started communicating first time with copper. The Indian guy came here and dug 40 feet down, nothing was there. He went to his boss and told that, sir, nothing is there. And what is the inference? The student said, India was the first country to go wireless. Because nothing is there, right? We have a great talent here. But on the flip side, this is a humorous thing, but I am telling you, we have a great talent not only in India, everywhere. You might have seen the globe is fully cherishing with only the Indians. But the only place where Indians are not being portrayed and globally praised is only in India. I should certainly just put this to the HR people. We need good quality people to be focused on, whether they know AI or I. I give more preference to intelligence than artificial intelligence. You might have seen now many people, without a spell check, we don't know how many C's are there in success. Without cut and paste, we will not be able to do much of our work. Without ChatGPT, many people do not do anything. Even for me, if I want to calculate 32 plus 72, I take my mobile. We are going to this kind of a talent here. And I should say that the HR should focus on making the unique and the right talent by knowing the real person, not through AI or to take AI as a pinch of salt always. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your address.